I have asthma. How do I do peppers on the dehydrator and protect my father, who now lives with us, who has COPD? Hi folks, it's Darcy from the Purposeful and today we're talking about dehydrating peppers and tips on dehydrating outside, because these are not something you want to do inside, especially if anybody in your home has COPD or any other kind of lung disease. Put on some gloves. Do not do this without gloves. I promise you're going to wipe your face. Once you've been cutting things, you're not going to think about it, or you'll have walked away and not washed your hands off well, and you're going to touch your face and it's going to burn. Wear some gloves and don't touch your face. Okay, so what I have here are some small poblanos. We have some Thai chili, and I'm going to go through here and do some preparation. Now, my son is the one who wants these. We don't eat them in our family much anymore because I can't handle the spice. My husband can't handle the spice, and so my son is the one who loves it. So I am going to slice these poblanos in just small coins. You can dry these whole. They are small enough to do. You can just go through here and take a slit out of the side of it, and that helps let any moisture escape while you're drying. But this is how we're going to do these. Now, yes, you could blister these on a stovetop. If you don't have a grill and you don't want to do it in your oven, simply take a skillet, put it on your stovetop, set it to about medium high, and place your peppers in the skillet. And then what you do is just roll them around. You don't want any one of them sitting in the spot so long that they burn, because you're not looking for a burn, you're looking for a charring of the skin. Now, if you get them really good and charred, you can take off that charred skin and then just use the flesh of what's left of the pepper. That way you get that flavor, but you're not trying to dry burn skin. Okay, let's take a moment to talk about dehydrating peppers inside or outside. You can do however you want. I mean, honestly, some people don't have a problem with it. Some people have a basement they can put it in, or a back room where nobody is bothered by it, or they have a really great ventilation system in their kitchen and they can put it under their hood vent and it vents out, especially if you've got other windows and doors open right around it, so it really creates an air circulation. That's okay. But these puppies can be really problematic for those of us who have lung issues, whether you have asthma, COPD, or any other kind of lung issue that creates a problem with breathing. Any kind of pepper, garlic, onion, those things can be really a big problem. So let me warn you, if anyone in your family has problems breathing in any fashion whatsoever, please do these outside. I know that your dehydrator may say, don't use this outside, and that's a liability clause for them, because they can't know whether you're plugging into an approved socket that is made for outdoors, whether you're trying to use an electric cord that is not approved for being outdoors, nor is it approved for the drain that your dehydrator may be pulling on it. They don't know what kind of circumstances you have. Their materials may not be made for outdoors. Like, I would not put my Kasori outside, but I am going to put my Nesco outside. So what you need to also do is look at the humidity in your area. If it's kind of high, if it's over 50%, if it's like 60, 70, 80%, you probably aren't going to have a great drying time outside, especially if it's raining. Don't do it when it's raining, because then you're going to mess up your machine. But if your humidity is very high, you're talking about trying to pull humidity out of food, push it out into air that's already so full of humidity that you're not going to get a very good transfer, and it's going to take a very long time for the things in your machine to dry. Also, if the heat, if the cold temperature is pretty low, I would say anything under 40, you run a risk of then making your machine work too hard. And you could wear it out by trying to dry outside in frigid temperatures where the motor just can't keep that air hot enough, and you're running it too hard and too long trying to dry things that are inside of it as well. So keep those things in mind. I am not worrying about the seeds for these because they will, oh, you can't even see that. I'm so sorry. Okay, I've loaded up my first tray of just the green peppers, and you'll notice I didn't de-seed these. I don't need to. As they dry, those seeds are going to pop out. Okay, so for these Thai chilies, my son has requested that I top them off for him because it makes it easier for him to throw this into a dish if he's going to do them whole. And it makes it easier for us to powder down the road without having to worry about the greens. And the greens are fine. This is just how he's asking for it this time. And that's great. I don't mind doing it. It just takes a little prep work now. I am not de-seeding these because the seeds, as they dry, will shrivel up and will fall out. And then leaving any seeds in there just makes this even spicier and brings on more heat, which is what he enjoys. So we'll get these prepped and ready to go. And I am just throwing them all on one tray for right now. I will spread these out in just a minute. forgive the unkept garden bed. I haven't taken care of that this year, but this is something I do when I put my dehydrator on. I have it stacked on a couple of concrete bricks because I don't want to put it on my painted deck. So we'll do that and then we'll get it plugged in. Okay, after about 18 hours, which is what we've left these to go because I just let them go overnight, here we go. Here are our peppers. These are the ones that we did take the tops off of. Right there, they are crunchy already even when they're warm, so I know they're finished, and you can see how the seeds just come right out. Then, ooh, and they smell. Here are our whole ones. And here are those smaller habanos, ready to go in and get processed. Now next, it's time to mask up. When you're doing ground pepper powders, you always want to make sure to protect your lungs from the powders and the vapor that comes, that's not vapor, it's the really fine powder that comes out of your grinder when you open the lid. You don't want to inhale any of that, especially if you have problems with your lungs already. So let's get started. Our pepper powder is in our grinder. I happen to use a Kasori coffee grinder. This is it right here. Use whatever grinder you have of your choice. And what we're going to do is get it locked in and we're going to pulse. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. And what we have is Thai chili powder. And yes, I left the seeds in because he wants hot and spicy, not just left without. So here's what it looks like. Now, there is a tiny bit of grain there still that you can see that are the seeds. You could sift this out by simply taking this into a piece of cheesecloth that's kind of the more loosely woven cheesecloth, or something really fine mesh strainer, and strain that out. I'm not going to because it's unnecessary. All right, now I'm just taking my powder and I'm putting it into a spice jar. Typically, I would put this powder into an oven that's been preheated yet turned off onto a lined cookie sheet to let it condition, which is what you do with powders, and then allow it to take out any remaining moisture. The problem is my son's going to be here in about 5 minutes to pick this up and a couple other things from the house, so I don't have time to do that. So what he knows to do at home is to watch this for clumping, and then he can do that if he needs to. So let me get finished with the last of this. While it's always great to follow the procedures, sometimes practically you can't because stuff is happening. So we're going to let him deal with it on his own. He has arrowroot powder there. If he needs to, he can put a tiny little bit in, but he also knows how to put this into the oven to do as he needs. Now, can you use this in place of any kind of chili powder? You can, but you might want to think first about it if you're not used to using the hotter, spicier chilies for things like that. But yeah, you certainly can. All right. Let's go ahead and put this in. And what I am going to do is I'm going to put, to help retain or to help control any kind of moisture issues that he's going to have. I'm going to go ahead and put in one moisture absorber just to help deal with anything that might be an issue right now. So if you want to see how I do other peppers, you can click on this video right here and watch how I do regular peppers for your kitchen. And until I see you again next time, happy dehydrating. Time to take off this mask.